Have you ever fallen for a crypto scam or almost did? Have you ever felt that moment of doubt when investing in a project that seemed just a little too promising? In the world of crypto, one wrong click can cost you everything, and those who don't study pay the price. In this video, I'm going to show you the most common scams, how to spot them, what you should never do with your crypto assets, and why even legit-looking projects can end up worthless. You'll learn how to protect your money and your freedom in a system that doesn't forgive carelessness. If you want to invest with more confidence, avoid traps, and think like a true financial sovereign, stay until the end. This video could save you years of losses and give you clarity in the middle of the chaos. Most cryptocurrencies end up worthless. That's the harsh truth few are willing to face. Even projects with good intentions, promising tech, or flashy marketing often disappear. Some fail due to critical technical issues. Others are abandoned by their own developers, who lose interest or simply vanish. And some were outright scams from day one, wrapped in empty promises of quick profits. The risks of being an early adopter are extremely high. Hundreds of altcoins once hyped as the next Bitcoin have stopped trading, been delisted from exchanges, and vanished from the map. Early believers watched their tokens literally go to zero. And it's not just the tokens. Companies that seemed solid, like exchanges and DeFi protocols, have been hacked, collapsed from mismanagement, or just disappeared with user funds. In many cases, there's no one to complain to, no support, no refunds, just loss. In this market, innovation and destruction go hand in hand. If you don't understand that, you'll enter with hope and leave with trauma. Just like the crypto world, scams evolve as fast as the tech. Knowing the most common ones is the first step to protecting yourself. So let's get straight to it. Phishing happens when scammers create fake websites or emails that mimic exchanges or wallets. You enter your password or seed phrase thinking you're in a safe environment and lose everything. A classic example. You get an email saying your account has been locked and asking you to verify access. The link takes you to a perfect replica of the platform, but it's a trap. Ponzi schemes are also very common. They work by promising fixed high returns, funded by new investors. A fictional example. Invest $1,000 and earn 10% a month by referring friends. At first, it even pays out. But the money doesn't come from profits. It comes from new participants. Once growth stops, the whole thing collapses. A rug pull is when developers launch a project, issue a token, and then disappear with the liquidity. The community buys in, believes the hype, and suddenly the creators pull the rug. A real example, the Squid Game token. It skyrocketed thousands of %, then dropped to zero in minutes. Classic scam. Fake airdrops catch a lot of people too. You see an ad, get free tokens, just connect your wallet. When you do, you unknowingly sign a malicious transaction that gives the scammer access to your funds. Pump and dump is price manipulation. Groups coordinate a mass buy of an unknown coin, inflating the price. Newcomers jump in at the top thinking they'll get rich, but end up holding worthless bags. Once the organizers sell, the price crashes. And then there's impersonation. Maybe the most subtle scam. Fake profiles pretending to be influencers, companies, or experts message you offering support, giveaways, or opportunities. Sometimes they use real names and photos. The goal is always the same: gain your trust, then scam you. These scams change shape, but the formula stays the same. Promise big, ask for little, disappear fast. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But there are warning signs that, if you learn to spot them, can save you from getting scammed. These are the red flags, the danger signals most people ignore out of greed or naivety. The first one, guaranteed profits. In crypto, nothing is guaranteed. If someone promises fixed returns, especially high ones, it's almost definitely a scam. Volatility is the norm in this space. There's no such thing as magical stability. Another classic red flag, urgency to invest. Phrases like last few hours, limited offer, or you'll miss out are meant to bypass your logic and rush your decision. Scammers know that the more time you have to think, the less likely you are to fall for it. An overemphasis on marketing and zero focus on technology is another common red flag. Serious projects talk about fundamentals, deliverables, and code. Scams talk about community, hype, vague partnerships, and celebrities. When the product is weak, the noise is loud. If the code is closed, meaning no one can audit what's being built, that's a major risk. In crypto, transparency is a basic rule. The same goes for empty white papers filled with buzzwords but lacking any technical explanation or sound economic logic. Referral rewards should also raise alarms. Promising bonuses for bringing in more people is the foundation of every pyramid scheme. It fuels unsustainable, artificial growth. And when the inflow of new people stops, the whole thing crashes. If you spot two or more of these signs together, run. It's better to look paranoid than to be the next one counting losses. In the crypto world, your security is entirely up to you. There's no manager, help desk, or tech support to recover lost funds. That's why one of the most important phrases in this space is, not your keys, not your coins. If you don't hold the private keys to your wallet, the assets aren't truly yours. They're in the hands of a third party, which defeats the core promise of decentralization, sovereignty. Using self-custody wallets is the first step to taking control. But that comes with responsibility. Never under any circumstance share your seed phrase. Not with friends, not with tech support, not with anyone. Whoever has your seed phrase has full access to your wallet. Enable two-factor authentication on every platform you use. It adds an extra layer of protection even if your password gets compromised. Speaking of passwords, no birthdays or pet names. Use strong, unique passwords, and ideally, a trusted password manager to store them. Another essential precaution: links on social media. Scammers are clever. They create fake profiles, comment on popular posts, and even pay for blue check marks. Never click random links, even if they seem legit. Always go directly to the official website. Digital security isn't optional in crypto. It's a vital skill. Neglecting it is like leaving your safe open in the middle of the street. Before investing in any crypto asset, the rule is simple. Do your research as if your money were already at risk, because it is. Hype can't replace critical thinking. Never invest in something you don't understand. Start by looking into the team behind the project. Who are the developers? Do they have a known track record? Have they worked on other serious initiatives, or are they anonymous with generic LinkedIn profiles? Trust is built through transparency. Then evaluate the token's actual utility. Does it solve a real problem? Does it have practical use? Or is it just another coin created to fuel hype and artificially inflate prices? Take a close look at the community. Is it active, engaged, and critical? Or does it seem bloated with bots and empty promises of profit? Healthy projects foster technical discussions, feedback, and even criticism, not just blind admiration. If the project's code is on GitHub, check whether it's updated frequently. Abandoned code or clones of other projects without meaningful changes are major red flags. Another crucial step: independent audits. Legit projects typically hire firms like Certic, Hacken, or Trail of Bits to review their code for vulnerabilities. If there's no audit, or it was done by an unknown firm, proceed with extra caution. You don't need to blindly trust anyone when you have direct access to the information. Research is exhausting, but losing money from lack of research is far worse. However, some of the biggest crypto scams in history didn't start small, they started famous, with heavy marketing, seductive promises, and often the backing of influencers and celebrities. But the lesson is clear: size and popularity don't equal safety. The BitConnect case is a classic. It promised fixed returns through an automated trading system. It became one of the top tokens by market cap, but it was a disguised Ponzi scheme. When it collapsed, billions vanished, and thousands of people lost everything. The Squid Game token was even more brutal. It piggybacked off the success of the Netflix series, launched a token with the same name, shot up thousands of %, and then disappeared. Selling the token was impossible. The contract was programmed that way. A perfect rug pull. The website, the devs, all vanished within hours. OneCoin was perhaps the largest global crypto scam ever. It branded itself as the next Bitcoin. But there was no real blockchain. Millions of people invested around the world, especially in Asia and Europe. The founder, Ruja Ignatova, is still missing and is wanted by Interpol. Celsius and FTX showed that not even regulated companies, with sponsorships, TV ads, and a presence at global events, are immune to mismanagement or outright fraud. Celsius promised yields on deposits. It went bankrupt, froze withdrawals, and left users without access to their funds. FTX, once considered one of the largest exchanges in the world, imploded under a web of internal fraud, reckless leverage, and misuse of customer funds. These cases prove that no matter how professional, trustworthy, or popular a project looks, if you don't understand where your money is going, someone else will, and they'll use that to their advantage. Before we continue, please, if you are enjoying the video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. But the biggest bait used by scammers in the crypto world isn't the technology, it's the promise of easy money. They know that when greed kicks in, even smart people shut off their critical thinking. The idea of getting rich quickly and effortlessly is the fuel behind most frauds. And the problem isn't in the code. It's not the technology that deceives, it's the human promises behind it. Blockchain, smart contracts, DeFi, all of these are neutral tools. It's the illusion sellers who turn them into traps. In the crypto space, freedom is total, which means responsibility is too. There's no tech support, no manager to call, no institution to reverse a bad transaction. Every decision is yours, and so is every mistake. People who enter this market chasing shortcuts usually exit through the back door, poorer, more skeptical, and often traumatized. There's no such thing as fast, easy, and guaranteed. Every day, a fool and a scammer meet, and they make a deal. But Bitcoin was born in a way no other project has matched, and probably never will. This is what people call its immaculate conception. Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's creator, never exercised centralized control over the network. He was active in the early years, collaborating with developers. But in 2011, he disappeared without a trace. No foundation, no leadership position, no authority. Just code and ideas. Even more impressive, the coins mined by Satoshi remain untouched to this day. We're talking billions of dollars that have never been moved. This means he never profited financially from his creation. No pre-sale, no special privileges, no personal gain. This act, in itself, shaped Bitcoin's ethical foundation. The project was born without favoritism, without an owner, without a messianic figure who could manipulate decisions. There's no central authority, no founders getting rich off others, and that makes it truly unique. No altcoin has been able to replicate this level of neutrality. There's always a team, a foundation, a creator holding reserved tokens. And for that reason, no matter how technically innovative, they can't match the structural trust that Bitcoin earned from day one. Take Ethereum, for example, one of the most widely used networks in the crypto world. But it carries a key detail. Its freedom is relative. And that can make all the difference when it comes to trust and neutrality. In 2016, a project called the DAO was hacked, but within the rules of the code itself. What did the Ethereum team do? They rewrote history. They rolled back the blockchain, reverting it to the state before the attack as if it never happened. This benefited those on the right side but undermined the network's immutability. That event proved that when big interests are at stake, there are friends of the king. And if code can be changed based on subjective judgments, the protocol stops being neutral. The promise of code is law becomes code is law until it's inconvenient. With Bitcoin, that's unthinkable. Immutability isn't just a technical choice. It's an ethical pillar. Even in difficult situations, the protocol doesn't change to benefit anyone. The rules are clear, strict, and apply equally to everyone. And that's what secures its credibility over time. Still, in 2010, Bitcoin faced one of the most critical moments in its history. An exploit that created 184 billion Bitcoins completely outside the protocol's rules, which kept the supply at 21 million. That flaw could have destroyed trust in the network. But the opposite happened. The community spotted the issue, developers quickly fixed it, and the blockchain was adjusted by consensus. The error was removed, with no users harmed and no one profiting from the bug. That episode became a lesson in anti-fragility. Instead of collapsing, the system came out stronger. The community gained experience. Developers better understood the risks, and the protocol matured. Bitcoin was forged in fire, and it survived. At the end of the day, it all comes down to ethics, self-discipline, and study. There are no safe shortcuts in a system with no boss, no customer support, and no mercy for careless mistakes. Education is the only vaccine against scams. It's no use chasing trends or trusting empty promises. You need to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what risks you're willing to take. In the crypto world, ignorance is expensive, and knowledge is protection. In a truly decentralized ecosystem, you are the bank, the manager, and the one responsible. Real freedom demands maturity, and if you want that freedom, you must also accept the weight of responsibility. Because in the end, the greatest protection isn't in the technology, it's in your awareness.